Welcome to the podcast, Falcon.
Thank you, Sir Somicron. Happy podcast day, as always.
Happy podcast day.
So yeah, cold, rainy day here for November.
Well, it's perfectly nice here at the moment, to be honest.
Excellent.
Yep.
So it is a good time to be in Australia right now.
Yeah, it's alright. I mean,
The country is not on fire yet.
not yet. Give it a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the bet it's gonna rain tomorrow?
3%. Oh,
Nope. It's
no?
gonna rain on Friday though. So, yeah, rain's coming. It's always coming in November these days. Stupid La Nina summers. Over.
Yes. The Nino.
Yeah. El Nino.
Well, cool. So what do we got going on here today? New episode of Andor we have to talk about. There's a new episode of Chainsaw Man we got to do.
These are things that
Excellent.
happened. Yep.
Yeah. We might spend a minute on Team Liquid map contest number 17 potentially.
Ooh, we could do that. Where do you want to start?
I don't know. What do you want to start with?
I think Andor.
Okay, cool. The problem with Andor is it's one of those shows that comes out like 4 hours after we finish the pod every week. So we're always a week old in our memory of what happened.
Well, you are. I watched it this morning because I knew that would be the case, so I just didn't watch it for a week.
Right. So you're smart. You got this figured out, but I can't wait. I can't do it.
Oh well.
Anyway, yeah, probably is. I could rewatch it the day of the pod.
You could do that, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good thing.
Hmm.
Anywho, yeah, I think it still continues to be pretty great. I'm really, really still enjoying the Andor. How about you?
I really enjoyed it. I can only think of like 3 things that happened in like a 40-minute episode this time though. So I'm like, it's good, but I feel like not a lot happened this time around. Like, next episode's the season finale, I think.
No, it's 12 episodes.
Oh, it's 12. Okay, so we got another 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say, man, like a season finale next episode would feel pretty sudden, but I guess they could pull it off if they tried. Anyway, yeah, there's 3 more episodes. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like most of the stuff that happened in the episode that I remember is what went on in the prison. Like some really interesting stuff there. Remember how last week I was like, the old guy, they showed him and he was struggling. They're going to go back to that. And you're like, you don't know anything about television writing, Falcon. Get off your high horse.
Well, okay, that's coming a little strong even for me. I wouldn't have described it as a high horse. Get off your speeder.
There you go. Speeder.
Get off your pod racer.
Star Wars appropriate. Got it. Anyway, yeah. Hey, look what happened. The old man had major health problems and died in this episode. It's like in an anime when someone coughs. What does that mean, Somicron?
That they're terminally ill.
Yeah, so it's the same thing. American television does the same thing.
If they get wet in an anime, it also means they're gonna get a cold. Like, it's just it's fundamental lore in anime world. Yeah, okay.
Impossible to avoid, yes.
A lot of things happened in between this episode and the last episode. In the prison specifically, because the last episode it was like Cassian gets thrown in prison. This one, he's like halfway through an escape plan with people from another table, and he's got like a shiv, and he's trying to cut a pipe, and he's working out whether or not the elevator, like the lift, will fry him if they're standing on it.
Yeah.
So it's clearly been some time.
I think that's good.
In which the old man aged and made you right.
I'm just saying that we don't need to see 30 minutes of Cassian working his job and then like somehow accumulating some kind of saw blade.
Right. No, I don't think we need to either, but we've like collectively watched Mon Mothra be like 30 minutes of like, I need to withdraw some money from my bank account.
Right.
I feel like that's on the equal level of dull at the moment. Also,
Okay.
I don't remember enough about how the Galactic Senate works. Everyone was turning off their lights as she talked. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think that means they're leaving.
Okay, so they're just not paying
So
attention to her.
yeah, so
Can-
bad. And I was like, that's a pretty aggressive, like it's a really passive aggressive way to be like, I don't approve of what you're saying, right?
Right,
You
because
just like click off the light switch
and
and
walk
that's it.
away.
That communicates. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, which in a galactic senate, covering the size of a galaxy, I think
Yeah.
a simplistic measure of approval like that would actually be necessary. Like, there's no way you could have meaningful relationships with all of the senators from all of the other worlds and
Right.
representatives. Like, I just don't think that's gonna happen. So that's fine.
Definitely.
But the first time that they showed her in the Senate giving a speech about the Emperor's overreach, it was like half empty. Like, people just weren't showing up, and I think that's a way more interesting way to show that the Empire does not really care as long as it benefits them. Like, they're just like, oh, we
Yeah.
don't even need to show up to Senate. Like, screw this. We can just do whatever we want, and it's fine.
Right.
I think that's a way more interesting way to show her side of like trying to set up the rebels. That's and those are the three things that happened in this episode.
Sure. Kind of. I guess.
I mean, okay,
My big
cop
I
lady
mean,
talked to fuel guy again.
yes.
He's stalking
Wait.
her.
Oh
The-
yeah. That was hilarious. She's like, "Are you stalking me?" And it's like, "Yeah, I wait outside your work in case you come by." And I'm like, "Okay, dude, that's stalking." Like, you didn't exactly say yes, but you said yes.
I don't stalk
Cyril!
you. I just follow you home from work.
On the off
Miss-
chance you'll walk by and I can accost you in public.
Yeah, I swear I'm no threat, Mrs. FBI lady.
Oh my gosh, Cyril's the best. He's hilarious and like disturbing in ways. Yeah, so he tries the same thing. Like and he refers to the conversation they had at his work, and she goes, "That wasn't a conversation. That was an interrogation."
All I did was give you a clean bill of health, and like that's not the way my boss looked at it. Like,
Yeah. So yeah, he gets a promotion
mhm.
and attributes it entirely to her, and she's like, I did not say anything about a promotion to your boss, dude.
I didn't pull any strings. You're giving me credit for something I did not do.
You were of like no help to me. What's your deal?
Hmm.
Yeah. So I don't. Part of me really hopes that this doesn't go anywhere for Cyril. That Dedra's like, "Fuck off, dude." Like she says, "You approach me again, you're done. I'm
Right.
tossing you in prison."
Mhm.
He's gonna try again because he's an idiot.
Right, but unfortunately, like in TV logic, the third time he does it will be the charm, and he'll have like a
Right.
piece of evidence, or he'll turn up with like a witness in hand or something.
Well, okay,
Suspect.
that's okay. If he comes up with something useful to Dedra, and she's like, "Ah, yes, okay, you are of use to me. We can work together." Fine. But if he just tries this, like, I'm gonna bare my soul to you about how much I believe in the Empire again, and she's like, "You know what? This time, that really hit the spot, man. Come work with me." I'm gonna be like, "No."
I want her to be like, thank you for bringing me this suspect. He was running guns into the Imperium from the Outer Rim. He's high on our priority. You did good work, but I told you if you come at this again, I'll put you in prison, and I'm going to. Like, I want her
That'd be
position
awesome too.
to be one of imperial superiority, not over just everyone else, but even the citizens in the Imperium. I think that would be great. Otherwise, I really don't feel like this character's doing much in the story other than like the initial story beats with on Ferrix and all that, where he gets
Right.
the corporate shut down entirely. Like, all of that made sense. I don't see where this is really going.
Right. Why is he still in the show? I've seen
Exactly.
people say that on Twitter. Like, I understand his arc in the first few episodes, but why are we still spending time with him? Yeah.
Right, like the other security guards, especially the one that like held his hand and was like, "Yes, this is the right thing to do," isn't in the show anymore. Like he's done.
Yeah. Everybody he went to Ferrix with is out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Including his boss, who didn't go to Ferrix with, but he's out anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the other thing. I've seen some arguments on Twitter and a podcast I listen to talk about this too, where it's like there's a lot of competing theories about what the heck Cyril's going to do.
Mm.
Some people are convinced he's going to end up working with Dedra. Other people are convinced he's going to have the craziest heel turn of all time, where he's like super hardcore Empire. Dedra tosses him in prison. He feels it's unjust and somehow gets allied with the rebels, which would be hilarious. I don't know how that would work, but I feel like maybe it's a potential outcome.
Maybe. I mean,
Maybe
they'd have to do a lot of work for a side character to make that happen. I feel like just throwing him in prison feels a bit like not. It just doesn't seem like it's enough to be like, oh, the Empire doesn't care about its people. I should try and fight the Empire.
True.
For someone who's on more than one occasion poured his heart out about how much he believes in the rule of law and specifically his use of the rule of law and like where he thinks it should go. So I mean,
yeah, it's more likely he'd be like, this is fair. She warned me.
He's like, can I still get Cocoa Pops?
Blue milk. Another theory that I liked was that he is randomly running around Coruscant, hears Luthen's voice, recognizes it, and shoots him. Not actively as part of the Empire. No one told him to do it. He ends up some kind of hero, but like almost by accident, right? I think that weird place for him to end would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm trying to think of all the other like plot elements he could interact with, and on Coruscant, there's really 4. There's Cop Lady, Mon Mothra, Axis Dude, and like
Luthen.
Yeah. Stellan Skarsgård.
And then Luthen's assistant.
And Mon Mothra's banker buddy, or like her husband and kid, right?
Tay, yeah.
Yeah. So it's either someone in the periphery or those 3 main people. And so I think he's got to go with one of them. And so hearing Stellan Skarsgård's voice and being like, oh, this rich artifact stealer, like, I know, like, there's something up in here, right?
Right.
I can see that happening.
Yeah. I mean, part of me is like, Coruscant is really big. The odds of that happening are tiny. But hey, it's TV. Like, stuff like that happens all the time. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I'd be shocked if nothing happens with him.
There's got to be something.
Ends and like he's in the same place he is now. It'd be like, no, that can't happen. There's no way.
This season, every episode in season 2 also just has a shot of him being berated by his mother while he eats Cocoa Puffs,
eating his 400th bowl of Cocoa Puffs and blue milk.
Yeah, and she's like, "I went through your secret box again today, son. Did you alter that jacket yourself?" Everything says something. That tie says, I don't care.
Oh, man. She's mean.
She is mean.
Did he lie about getting a promotion?
No, because he says it
to
her.
You're right. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. He says that to her before we know he got one, though.
Yes.
Okay, because I was like, did you say that to shut her up? Because she immediately switches her tone, and she's like, awesome. Let's tell your uncle about this. And I was like, did that happen?
I really want to know what his uncle does. I really want to know who his uncle is. It's going to be like, oh, his uncle is Emperor Palpatine. I'm like, oh, okay.
Pull some strings. Get you a job in a cube farm somewhere, Emperor Palpatine. Yeah, you're right. They keep mentioning the uncle. He's got to have something to do.
His uncle is going to be the head officer at the SIB, the one that Lady reports to.
Qyburn.
Yeah. How do you remember all these people's names?
No. It's Qyburn. I don't know his name in this, but he's Qyburn in Game of Thrones.
Oh, he's Qyburn in Game of Thrones. Yes, that's where I recognized him. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I know more names than you, but I don't know everyone's name in Andor. No.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that would be good. I like that a lot. I like that theory. The head of the ISB is his uncle. Nice.
I believe it.
Yeah. I guess I would explain. I don't know, whatever. It's fine. So that's cool. I really enjoyed Andy Serkis's journey through the prison side of the episode, where we meet him and he's got about a year left or so. He's big hard ass. He's on his, his subordinates, even though he's as much of a prisoner as they are.
He's like in a managerial role for the prison factory, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He won't talk about escape. He won't badmouth anything to do with the Empire. He's got his head down. He's going to serve out his time, and that's it. That's all he cares about. And none of you better screw that up for him, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so then, wow, I love how they do this, because like they've got the tunnels that all the different prisoners are going through to and from work every day. You can't hear anybody in a tunnel across the way, but the prisoners have developed these signs of communication, this rudimentary communication. It doesn't seem super clear, because the only thing they catch is like something happened on level 2 initially. And I love how the information kind of filters down. You can't quite trust it because the communication isn't clear. And eventually it filters down to like something big happened on level 2. A bunch of prisoners died. What happened? And then the whole story comes out finally that apparently a prisoner from level 4 had been released and then recycled onto level 2. And word of this gets out, and the Empire electrocutes an entire floor of prisoners.
To keep it quiet.
Which fails miserably somehow.
And doesn't make a lick of sense, right?
No.
Because it's like, where were these prisoners going? How? Where the core premise of the rumor is that the prisoners aren't leaving. How does the rumor get out if the prisoners aren't leaving?
Well, it's not get out, it's just get to other prisoners. Like, I understand.
What does that matter?
If level 2 had been allowed, oh, you're saying what does it matter if the people? Well, because if the people, like happened here, if the prisoners know they're not actually ever getting out, then they radicalize and they become much more okay with the idea of escaping, like our guy Smeagol did, right? That's why.
I mean, maybe, but they have a relatively good deterrence, like the ability to just shock everyone on a floor, right?
Yeah.
Like where they sleep, they have the hot hallway. I am under no illusions that they couldn't do that to them in their beds, right? Like,
probably. Yeah.
Probably, right? Like, I don't think. I think if you get caught trying to escape, like, again, this goes back to like communicating between the levels is really hard. What happened on level 2 might actually just be entirely misunderstood from the prisoners. I don't think it is. I think the show is going to play the prisoners as heroes, essentially, ignoring the fact that some of them could be locked up for quite legitimate reasons.
Could be,
but it could be that someone got out, then was rearrested for something, like got out and immediately went and held up a bank, got back in, and then was just like, oh, we're never getting out. The Empire really just wants to keep us in here, and tries to like convince people to leave, and then they just kill them all for trying. That's an entirely another interpretation of events that could have played out and then miscommunicated by the hand signs.
Yeah, could be. Because again, I am on board with these signs are not solid.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't think that's how it's going to work. I think the show is playing it far too straight for it to really be a misdirect in any way. It's
Agreed.
just, it's unfortunate because the misdirect would be way more interesting, I think.
It would be. And I mean, could happen. But the point is that people who have nothing to lose are a lot harder to control and a lot harder to predict.
Yeah, and I mean, especially in the case of this is essentially a factory prison, so assuming that they want to keep these people motivated to work, then A, the thing that they have to be making has to be useful, and B, they want to keep making them.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah. So I'm assuming what the Empire intends to do, assuming they're playing it straight, is that they release you and dump you back in one of the 6 other prisons in that ocean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then maybe once you cycle through those, they send you somewhere else. I mean, why not? Right?
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. Anywho, yeah. So there's going to be an escape attempt. I'm really curious what Andor is doing behind that panel in his cell, right? Because he pulls the panel off hacks away at a pipe for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then puts the panel back and leaves. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, he didn't want to leave so quickly. It's they got the new prisoner inbound coming, and
right.
like, it will have to be an attention. But there's scratch marks all up and down that panel. Well, not the panel, the pipe that he's trying to
The
cut.
pipe or whatever it is. Right. I'm not even sure if it's a pipe.
Electrical in nature. I think he wants to cut the power.
Maybe try to short the power to the floor. Yeah. Yeah, that would make sense. And then, like you mentioned, they noticed that the elevator is not electrocuted, so you can stand on it without worry. And they only send one guard down. Oh, two?
Yeah.
2 guards down to the work floor every time.
Yeah.
So you can overpower 2 guards pretty easy. It's just what you do after that is where it gets dicey, I think.
Right.
I guess you take their boots, right?
You take their boots. First
Like,
thing
step one,
homeless
take their
people,
boots.
prisoners do, take their shoes.
Take their shoes, exactly.
Yeah.
So once you have their boots, then that's the problem with this whole system is if a prisoner has the boots, what now? Right?
Stun sticks. Blasters.
I guess.
Oh, man.
I don't think they have blasters.
I mean, they should have blasters.
They should have blasters, yes.
Yeah. Also, can I just say, I don't think I mentioned this before, but during the heist scenes in like the previous 3 or 4 episodes, the rebels who were committing the heist, I was very disappointed that they just had space K-47s. Right? Their guns were so uninteresting.
Yeah. Fair. Did you want the like blue circle shooting one that gets Princess Leia in A New Hope?
I mean, you didn't have to necessarily shoot that. The prison guard should have something like that, I think. But they should just have something that doesn't look like a gun from modern times. It shouldn't look like Space K-47.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's interesting? I listened to a podcast and again talked about this. So Tony Gilroy has said a couple times he didn't care about Star Wars.
Really?
He's like, they brought me on to do this thing. I don't have a reverence for Star Wars. I don't love the original trilogy, anything. I'm telling a story inside the Star Wars universe and I'm making the best story I can.
Fair. It's a good way to look
so
at
like,
it.
Right. And I've always felt like if people come in to deal with an existing IP and they don't like the IP, it's not going to work. But this is an example of it really working.
Well,
like maybe better than anything has worked in a long time.
I mean, there's a difference between not holding something in reverence and hating something, right? Like,
yes,
343 apparently hired people who hate Halo to make Halo.
Exactly.
The idea being like they could tell us what we're doing wrong and we could try to like work on it or whatever, like try to mitigate it so we can appeal to more people. Instead, they just made Halo bland and more like Call of Duty.
Yep.
Which wasn't great. But this person's like, I don't love it, but he still sees the ability to tell an interesting story in it.
And he will respect the source material, even if he doesn't reverence it. Yeah. Witcher, same thing. Like this last week, Henry Cavill's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like the writers don't care about the source material. I'm tired of having to be the one to bring up stuff that's from the books and try to keep it consistent. They don't care about it. They dislike it, and I'm out. I heard a story too. There was a thread about it on Reddit, and somebody claimed that. Do you remember the scene? Is it season 1 where Roach dies?
No.
Or is it in season 2 when Roach dies?
I've only seen season 1. So
okay, so it's got to be in 2.
It's got to be in 2.
Spoiler alert: Roach dies, and again, this is a Reddit post, so take it with a grain of salt. But they said the writers wrote a scene where Geralt laughs it off as like, "Bah, another horse gone. I go through horses super fast, whatever." Right. And there's like a joke in there. And Henry Cavill was like, no, let's not do it that way, please. Like Geralt cares about his horses. He cares about Roach. And yeah, it's not the same horse all the time. He's 600 years old.
Right.
But he does. He has a reverence and a respect for his horse. And when it dies, it bothers him. And so that's why the scene that we got in the show in season 2 was more serious and more mournful for Geralt than it otherwise would have been. So yeah, like I don't know. I respect the choice to leave. I don't think Liam Neeson's going to be able to do anything to help the show. So I'd be shocked if season 3 is any good. Liam Neeson, Liam Hemsworth, the other Liam in Hollywood. There's only 2. Liam Neeson would do a good job, I think. I think I'd watch a Liam Neeson
Liam
Witcher.
Neeson would be great. I think that would be great. Who's the older, like,
There's Chris
Witcher?
and
No.
older
Witcher.
Vesemir.
Vesemir. Liam Neeson could be him
It
if
could
he's
be a
not already in the show.
great Vesemir. Vesemir's already in the show. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should send him a tweet. I don't think he's on Twitter. Liam Neeson's a weird dude. Liam Neeson.
Who knows?
There's a Liam Neeson fan Twitter account, but yeah, he's not on there. Too old. Probably. Anyway, cool. So so bottom line, Smeagol's been radicalized. He's giving them information they didn't have before about how many guards are on each floor at any given time he's in. And having his help, I think, is almost required because you can't really plan an escape too well if Smeagol's just going to turn you in the second he realizes what you're doing. So
right.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see what this new episode is going to be like. Should be awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I want to circle back to something. You said that there was an opportunity for, what's the name of the cube farm worker guy? What's his name? Cocoa Pops.
Cyril.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said there was a kind of a way for him to turn up like an accidental hero.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Warhammer 40k books that I've been listening to at the moment is the Caiaphas Cain series, where Caiaphas has been a commissar in the Imperial Guard for like 200 years or something, right?
Yeah.
He retires and writes something called the Cain Archive, which is essentially just his life story written from his perspective. It's been found by an Inquisitor friend, and she's edited it down into books for listening pleasure, right? That's the way that these books are presented to us, real people, is edited by a third person. And by Cain's own standards, he is a complete coward. And everything he ever does and all of his wonderful adventures that he goes on that has left him as a hero of the Imperium has been him trying to put other people between him and the bullets and him diving for cover.
Awesome. And so true story. Yeah.
Right. I highly recommend you give the first book for the Emperor a read, right? Like the audiobook is really, really good. It's got a couple different voice actors because various reasons, like you'll figure it out. I don't know how it reads on the page, but it works really well as like an audio drama. But I know audiobooks aren't your thing. The first book's really, really good. It continues to be really good. But you might have noticed me talking about it in the Discord. It does fall into a bit of a pattern. And if you like the format, it works. And I don't mind the pattern. Like, it's how I've smashed through 6 books at this point in like 3 weeks.
Blazing, yeah.
But I recommend it. He's a hero of the Imperium who always manages to be like, oh, we've been deployed to whatever planet. There's some rumors that some people down this hole have gone missing. I better take a fire team and leave the like giant orc warband for you guys to deal with. Everyone else has got that. I'll take 5 people, go down this hole. I'll sit it out. I'll come back up. The whole battle will be over and I'll get to live. It's fine. Right?
Getting to live is the important part here, yes.
Yes. Everything he does is to get him to live. And when you mentioned that Cyril could end up as like an accidental hero, that's immediately what I thought of Caiaphas being like, because he ends up like on like recruitment posters and highly favored by Lord Generals of the Guard, right? Like, and just because he's a complete coward, it's accidental. It's great. I highly recommend it. So that's Warhammer for this week.
I mean, I do feel like in the history of warfare, in world history, the people that have lived the longest while serving in a lot of wars have pretty much probably played it the same way.
It's certainly possible.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, good. We'll see. Yeah, again, Cyril, I feel like his arc ends with him dying in this season. I don't see him living. Like, even him living and not having anything to do in season 2, like he just never shows up. I don't see that being where he goes.
Right.
But I guess we'll see.
Yep, we'll find out.
Yeah. Chainsaw Man. I feel so bad for Denji. He's so maladjusted and like so backwoods hick doesn't understand anything about human relationships, doesn't understand anything about women or about sex or about anything other than that he's horny all the time. Like he needs some character growth because I seriously like feel for this dude every time.
He's really living up to the "I was raised in a shed with my dog"
Yes.
kind of character.
Yes. And it makes, again, you're right. It makes sense he's this way. It's very well established why he's this way, but it's just like, dude, you're getting life advice from Makima. It's not healthy, man. Please stop doing that. You need a father figure who cares about you, or a mother, or something.
I mean,
Nobody cares about him.
Makima's advice isn't terrible.
It's
just
not.
it's just terrible in isolation because it's the only thing he's getting.
It's manipulative as hell.
Well, we already knew the relationship was going to be manipulative. Like from the moment she meets him, she's like, "I'll look after you and I'll give you like pet food and you'll be like an animal.
Yes.
And you're gonna work for me." Right? Like,
yes.
We already knew that about them.
I know. It's not new. But it's just like, this is who he's getting his life advice from, is Makima? Not okay. Yeah.
No.
And I love, it's pretty amazing that she's like, so there's this gun demon. No one's seen it. It's incredibly powerful. You go to try to take it on. Like, wow, okay. He's been on the job for like 2 weeks. I guess, fine, sure. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, it could only go well.
I mean, it's called Chainsaw Man. I'm sure he'll be fine.
He'll be all right. What's the over-under of them like feeding him some of the gun demon's skin or whatever?
That's what I was thinking. I thought the same thing. I'm gonna go with pretty high based on that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Like, okay, you killed Bat Demon by yourself. Nice. How much stronger could you be if we gave you some gunmetal, right? It's for science, because they don't care about Denji. They don't care about what happens to him if he does this.
Well, they still, like, if he goes wild, they still need to be able to put him down, and if they make him too powerful, there's a chance that they can't. Because they're having trouble finding and killing the gun demon at the moment. So
yes. Well, and the trick is that Denji, when he loses blood, is out for the count. And the way he fights is very melee and very blood loss heavy.
Sure.
So I feel like taking him out if you need to is never really going to be an issue.
Okay.
Unless, again, he synergizes with Power's bloodbending system.
Right.
Which would be awesome, but there's really no indication that's going to happen, at least not yet.
Right. I mean, I don't think you can completely rule out him being a threat because he loses blood. The gun demon is literally shedding its body parts as it moves around the world doing whatever it is it's doing, and they're collecting it, and it doesn't seem to be doing it any harm. So losing a bit of blood might end up not being such a big deal if he eats some gun skin.
So maybe it makes him a bit more resilient.
Yeah. Less required on the human fleshy parts of him.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Anyway, I just feel bad for Denji. He's like, all right, got my boob squeezes. It wasn't awesome. It wasn't as rewarding as I thought it was going to be. Is my whole life a lie?
Yeah.
That's where he ends up. He's like, but wait, does that mean everything I pursue and attain is going to be unrewarding? What am I even doing with my life? Poor guy. I feel bad for him so much.
What an analogy for the salaryman lifestyle.
Little political commentary in our anime today.
Well, I mean, it's more than a little. Like the commentary on the gun violence in America, and that's what spawns the gun devil. I mean,
true, very true. There already is some political commentary. Not wrong. Yeah. Power's growing on me. She's hilarious.
Yeah. I really look forward to a moment where in the show they can be like they are in the intro, where they're doing that little dance after they like break the bowling ball or whatever it is that happens. And everyone's just kind of like tired and looking at them, and they're just like doing a jig. It's great. It's good character between them.
Yeah, and I mean they bond over their instability, I think. I don't know what it is. But I really love the moment in this episode too where she brings up the prank, or Denji brings up the prank they pulled on Aki.
What was the prank? Did I miss that?
They didn't tell us, which I
Okay, yeah.
love.
Okay, yeah,
Because
I saw
Aki
that.
is so mad. He's mad now about what they did earlier that day.
Mhm.
And they're
Yeah.
both just like, maybe it was too much. And I like it because it lets the imagination run wild. Like, I don't know.
Mhm.
I was thinking, like, what could you do to make him that mad? I was thinking cutting his hair would probably do it.
Ooh,
But he has
replacing
his
the
hair, so that's
coffee
not what it
in his
was.
coffee bean. Like giving him like
Decaf.
Because the only thing I can think of that happened to piss him off at the start is she tried to steal some of Denji's food and knocked over like his miso bowl or whatever that they were eating.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not a prank. Is this a bad translation? Like, is it a
sounds
prank
like
to steal someone else's food? Kind of. Not.
Yeah, but it sounds like something that Denji and Power came up with and executed together.
Right.
So it's got to be some planned thing. It can't be an accidental angering of Aki. There's no way.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, they are hilarious. I love the gum thing too. Like they're such toddlers.
I was like, didn't I tell you to like work on your manners? And like, yes, senpai.
Well, no, only after he's like, there's a very tangible, visible reward if you behave. And the other demon hunters are like, what is up with these two? Fair. You're asking good questions, other demon hunters.
The other two do that. Then one of the other demon hunters is like, I'll offer a reward as well. And then a third of the like another guy's like, oh, I want that reward. Because he's like into his coworker. So he goes from like judging them with the obvious bribe to being like, yeah, I need to get this bribe. Like,
right. I think Denji is just a bad influence. I think once it became obvious he could be bought with sex and motivated with it, then bam, sex as a motivating tool is now on the table. And that other guy's like, wait, that was an option the whole time? Because at first he's like, that's not appropriate. And then no one else says anything. And he's like, all right, let's go.
Denji, bless his heart, even tries to like refuse the kiss on the cheek. He's like, I need to know the person, right? Like, it means more when you know the other person. I don't even know your name. And she's like, all right, then, how about a kiss with tongue? And he's like, let's get to it. I'm going to bag this demon.
He tried so hard. I love this show. It's so good.
It's good.
And I like that the non-psychotic, non-emotionally destroyed demon hunters have like magic powers that they get to roll with. Like, what's her face lady has a ghost hand, which seems real handy. At first I was like, does she have telekinesis? Real handy. But at first I thought it was like, is it telekinesis? That's kind of neat. But then it makes more sense. She's bonded with Ghost Demon, the only one in the whole world, because there's only one Ghost Demon.
I assume so. Yeah, I mean, would Ghost Demon and a Spectre Demon be different things?
Oh, would like Hammer Demon and Mallet Demon be different things?
Yeah.
Would AK-47 Demon and like Colt 45 Demon be different things?
Well, no. They're both Gun Demon. Like, the Gun Demon is the amalgamation of all the other Gun Demons. Nobody has a fear of just Colt 45s, right?
Well, some people do, but you're right. Not that many.
I
not enough to make a difference.
I mean, weirdly enough, one of the best seasons of Sword Art Online is a spin-off show called Gun Gale Online, where there's a character who has a very specific fear. No, is it Gun Gale or is it just like season 3? I don't remember. That show doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I think it's a spin-off character or like one of the side characters. She just has a fear of a specific gun from when she was like the victim in a like a bank robbery and shot the like hostage taker. Like, she wrestled for the gun, or her mother did when she was a child. So she has a specific fear of one gun and immerses herself in VR gun games to try and like learn to cope.
Yeah.
It's like, again, a lot of Sword Art Online's storytelling is kind of garbage, but the world build and the themes are all kind of there in a jank way, and it makes it work. So I guess you are right. That is a possibility that some people are just
Right.
afraid of one gun, and there could be a demon for all of them.
But it'd be a very weak demon because, again, the more people afraid of it, the
Right.
stronger it is.
Yes. Yeah.
Fair
So
enough.
demons can empower themselves by just doing stuff, right? Because the gun
Seems
demon shot like a single bullet by the looks of it, and like ripped a line across America is how it looks.
killed 1.2 million people with one attack. Yeah.
Yeah. And that empowered all the other demons because people were starting to become afraid of demons as a whole, right?
Yes.
So how
That's
do
interesting.
how do weak ass demons like Sea Cucumber Demon or Chainsaw Demon still be like a cute little puppy and a pile of slime?
And that was my question the whole time. Like, chainsaws feature heavily in horror films at the very least. So
Mm,
there's got to be a bunch of people with an inset fear of chainsaws.
how many horror films are people afraid of the chainsaw versus the maniac wielding one?
Fair point.
And also, how
Yeah.
many chainsaw slasher movies are there? Because slashers aren't really all that scary. They're not horror films. They're just like
No, but
bloody and violent,
yeah.
but not scary.
Depends on who you're talking to, I'd assume. But
Sure, yeah.
yeah. Yeah. The intent is more to shock than to frighten, I guess.
Yeah, that
Anyway,
makes
I don't
sense.
know.
Well,
I don't know. The lore of the world is a little bit fuzzy.
it is fuzzy.
I want to explain some more here. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, so they go to a hotel where they think maybe the gun demon is, or a demon with a bunch of the gun demon's body in it.
Mm-hmm. Because these are power pellets now.
Yeah, and they wipe out a little disembodied head with hands.
Yeah, what demon was that? Or was that like a fiend, like power? I assume that's a fiend.
It's gotta be a fiend, but like,
Right.
is that how they work? You can just take disparate body parts and be like, I'm a fiend now.
I guess.
Previously, it sure seemed like you had to have the whole body. You possessed the body.
Maybe this is like a Frankenstein demon, and he goes around just creating like amalgamations of people's body parts as fiends.
Maybe.
But that doesn't
Anyway,
explain the spatial powers with the Ouroboros staircase of hotel floors.
right. I assume that was something entirely different and
Mm-hmm.
disconnected from the head thing.
Really? I assume they connected.
Yeah. No, I
assume
don't
everything
know.
that's happening in the hotel is connected on some level.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fair. I get that. I honestly, my first read of it was that head hand demon was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And like 6 demon hunters showed up and he was like, crap.
Crap. Well,
Yeah.
the problem is that they say the civilian demon hunters, like the private ones, already came in here and got killed.
Right.
So head hand demon has to have known that the official people were coming. Or is he just woefully unaware of how civilization works?
Well, he was in one of the hundreds of rooms in the hotel, right?
Right.
So maybe the civilian demons got killed by something else and just never came down his hallway.
It's true.
I don't know. It's unclear, but that was my read on it.
Okay.
I love the powers. Like, did you see how he was immobilized and floating with fear at my power? The other hunter's like, yeah, that was me. And she's like, oh. I like the other demon hunters too. Are like, we trust these two. They're a little imbalanced.
We trust them to watch our backs. You won't have to. They're going in first.
Yes, they are going ahead of everyone else, dangerously. Yeah. So then we end up in a Super Mario haunted house level in Super Mario World where you go upstairs and then reappear on the same floor over and over again. So that's fun.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the first time we've seen any evidence of like supernatural abilities other than a giant talking bat, which is pretty supernatural in and of itself,
or a
right?
ghost hand.
Yeah, or a ghost hand.
Or the ability to conjure blood weapons. Or chainsaws out of your arms. Or turn people into zombies.
Yeah. I guess I'm just putting spatial distortion at this level at
So
being different than anything we've seen.
it's an area of effect not associated with the immediate actions of a demon, right? Like,
At least that we can see.
right. This is not, as far as we can tell, this isn't a demon punching something, right?
Right. Or trying to eat something. Or,
Right.
yeah.
This is, it's manipulated the environment in a subtle but obvious way, right? Like, you don't notice it first, but you've walked into a trap somehow.
Yeah.
now
And
you're
that's
stuck.
the thing. Yeah. That's the important thing, is that you're stuck.
Mhm.
You're not like, oh, okay, gravity is 30% less. Whatever. Let's keep going. This is actually trapping you on this floor,
Mhm.
which is a pretty solid survival mechanism if you're a demon trying to avoid getting killed by hunters.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm curious to see how they managed to figure that one out.
I mean, I assume Denji just summons his chainsaws and cuts his way through like the floor.
And they just go up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's possible. It's possible he cuts, like, sticks his hand through the floor and it comes out the ceiling. He's like, huh, I guess that's not working. Like, either versions of that power could work.
Yeah, you're right. I'm assuming either Power or Denji try to physically force their way to the level ahead of above them.
Yes, or
And
they
whether
start
that
searching
works.
rooms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I imagine like they've got to ground this ability somehow by putting the demon nearby to maintain it. So
And that's
yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I was assuming it was higher up in the hotel, but you're right. If it's just in one of the hotel rooms, like maybe it has to be inside the distortion bubble to maintain it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hiding in one of the, 40 hotel rooms on this floor.
Right.
Right. That'd be good. We'll see.
We'll see.
We will see.
All the manga readers right now are just like, God, they don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
Like, it's so obvious in retrospect. Look, I'm theory crafting their bullshit.
Yeah.
Good times.
I don't know. I was a little disappointed we didn't get a real demon fight in this episode, but I guess they can't all be violent.
Sure. What we did get, like right at the start, after Denji was like playing around with power, when she leaves the bathroom, she's like, "Meowie, come here," and it immediately jumps on her, and I was like, "Yes, that cat loves her."
She doesn't even break stride. She's like, "We're going to bed," and the cat's like,
yeah. Cats in anime. More cats in anime, please.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I also love that Power was like, "Wasn't that amazing? Wasn't that the greatest experience ever? K-bye." And she uses like bra padding, like boob enhancement technology. Like I guess it makes sense if the goal is to
manipulate
get Denji. Yeah, sure. We'll make the boobs bigger. I don't think she needed to do that, I guess is what I'm saying. Probably like Denji would be like, my first time ever touching boobs. Yes, please. I really don't care what size they are. Let's go. Right.
But I don't know. She like puts them on clearly in like the episode before or whatever, and is just like just to try to like gauge his attractiveness to it, and he's like meets her and eyes immediately drop 6 inches, and she's like, up here, buddy. But like internally, she's like, okay, I can use this guy. He's an idiot.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
he's utterly and completely manipulatable that way. Yeah. Or again, we talked about this last week. If he gets laid, does it fix him, or does it make the problem worse?
Depends.
Yeah,
again,
I know. I don't
depends.
know. Right. Depends on what kind of person he is, what drives him.
Yeah. Because like, what does he go to after that? You know, like he essentially had like a little mini breakdown in this episode specifically about this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The Swiss, thanks for the resub.
Thank you.
What's up, dude?
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's enough of Chainsaw Man. Did we want to talk about the Team Liquid map contest?
I just wanted to give another shout out to Hyper One. I think he's like 22, like young kid, really loves StarCraft, started building maps in StarCraft 2 just about a month or so ago. And I was like, oh, sure, I'll submit a couple of my maps to the Team Liquid Map Contest 17. And totally made it in the top 5 with both of them. So Lazarus Wastes is one.
And Cryolysis. Cryolysis.
Yeah, however you pronounce that.
Cryolysis. Cryo. The map's called Cryo.
Yeah, cryo, indeed. Yeah, so I'm just impressed by that. Again, one of the interesting things about Lazarus Waste is that if you want a 5th base, you have to break rocks. Which, did you make this point in the comments of the video that there hasn't been a map with rocks to break for expanding since like Heart of the Swarm?
No, I didn't make that point. The point I made in the comments was how's Florencio supposed to take his natural base now if it's covered in rocks?
Right. Yeah. How do you ninja your second base if it's got rocks?
Yeah.
True fact. Yeah.
So this basically kills ninjas. Is a legitimate point to make there, which you don't see a lot in professional play. Like once a year, if Haz is playing, maybe. Even then,
right.
Not so much. So not a huge issue. And
it's not.
I don't.
Go ahead.
Okay, so someone made the point that there hasn't been a professional map in the pool with rocks on bases for however many years, right?
Yeah. Long time.
I feel like that's not true, but it could just be that team maps don't count the same. And I feel like there's been like you've got to clear rocks to take a base in like I might be thinking of co-op as well. I don't remember. They might be right. I'm gonna trust that they are.
Co-op loves rocks. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. And so in the cast, I kind of talked about this. Crank immediately obsing was like, "This is bad for Zerg. They can't take their 5th base without killing rocks." And initially, I was like, "Yeah, but by the time you're getting a 5th, you've got enough army available to just go take a 5th, right?"
Right.
But then in the game, the Zerg was so under attack and so defensive that he couldn't spare more than like 7 or 8 lings to go try to take down those rocks when he needed a 5th. So it did come into play, I feel like, which is nuts that, yeah, if you keep the Zerg player occupied enough at the time he needs a 5th, it delays the 5th, which can be absolutely game-changing in an elite TDZ.
It can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like the points between the 5ths are like really far apart. So you can push on either side, and whichever one they're trying to take, you either move on to like their 3rd or 4th, or you deny their 5th really easily, because the ways you go in tend to cut off the reinforcement direction as well. Especially at the 3 o'clock base. You know?
Yep.
Yeah, it's all 3 and 6, I should say. So yeah, I can see it being really hard to take a 5th in this base for Zerg.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if Blizzard, again, they can choose to use these maps in the ladder pool and choose not to. Because again, there's one intern running the StarCraft 2 division right now. So they're pretty busy. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to use Lazarus Waste to maybe get rid of the rocks at the 5th and maybe make the 6th rocks.
Yeah.
Maybe try to mitigate it or just get rid of all the rocks entirely. I could see that happening too.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, don't know. Again, we could never hear about Lazarus Waste ever again. Blizzard just never chooses to use it. So
they should. It looks like a good map.
Yeah, I think so. I think Hyper1 did a great job for his first time ever making maps. Yeah. Well, wonderful. I wanted to mention this to you. One of the comments on a Morrow versus Solar game.
Thank you for the follow, Hyper1.
Hyper1. Oh, he's here?
He's here. We're talking about his maps. He's here. We summoned him. Like
his ears were burning. Yeah. He knew we were talking about him. What's up, Hyper1?
Hyper1, did you check to make sure that the ramps out of the main bases can't be blocked with a single pylon? Tell me you checked that, please.
Memes. The memes.
There's a couple of projects that'll take advantage of that.
Single pylon. No, it's only doable in the map editor, apparently. But yeah, what I was saying was I cast a Morrow versus Solar game.
Okay.
And one of the comments was solely, Morrow needs to learn how to use tanks. And I was like, you do know who Morrow is, right? Like, you know he's won the most recent GSL, and he's won like 6 GSLs. What are you talking about?
He's won 5. Um,
5 GSLs, thank you.
yeah, because they gave him the G5L trophy for it, which they've had sitting around for like 7 years apparently, because someone else got 4, but no one else has made 5. It's great. Yeah,
Nice.
no, Murr I think knows how to use tanks. Yeah, I mean he's Murr. It feels self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could just be that I've actually watched Soul of Igumiho 3 times in 2 days. They played at EPTNA and yesterday, and then also yesterday, last night, they played again in the Pigsty tournament, which he's throwing. And so I have seen Gumiho play a lot of like Marine Wittermine, and he doesn't make a lot of tanks, I feel. And I always feel like tanks are a little more, I don't know, dependable, I should say, over Widowmine. And Widowmine's kind of fire, and then they sit around for a bit. But
Gambly.
yeah.
Because like you totally can see a one Widowmine kill 8 Banelings during an attack, and it's like, okay, that made a huge difference. But it's just as easy that it doesn't do anything.
Right.
Yeah. Anywho's. Yeah. So StarCraft still going, still wonderful.
Still going.
Yeah. What's the next thing?
The next thing?
Yeah.
The next StarCraft?
Yeah, the next big thing.
Well, I mean, there'll be another balance patch at some point. And that'll be a big thing.
There's going to be big things before that, that's for sure.
Yeah. I saw Phil Spencer talking about if Xbox can get their hands on it, they want to like make StarCraft 3 or something.
On Xbox?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe. They put it on Game Pass. Like, it was on the Nintendo 64. It can be on Xbox. Xboxes, I think, can use mouse and keyboard these days if you plug them in. Like
that's true. But saying it's on the N64 is not a selling point. It's the worst version of StarCraft ever created.
I don't know.
So I guess we've got DreamHack Masters Atlanta.
Yeah, and that's the thing going on right now.
Yeah.
And even then, it doesn't start for like another week.
Right.
Yeah.
We've got the participants lined up, but we don't have any group stages done yet.
Right.
So we got, who are the big names? I mean, a bunch of fun names, like Haz is here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Gumio's here.
Times Herald. Raynor forfeited his spot and was replaced with Hero Marine. Interesting. Huh.
But Cyril's here.
Yeah.
And Mara's here, so we're fine.
Yeah, that's weird.
But it is a whole bunch of foreigners. Like Hero Marine, Time, Showtime, has Estrella, Cham, Mio Micah's here. I haven't seen Mio Micah in a long while.
So Hyper One just tried to DM me and then deleted his message. I don't know what's going on, buddy. But yeah, if you want to chat, send me another message. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with DreamHack Atlanta. Why there's so many foreigners, so few Koreans? Because there's not a whole lot of them by the looks of it.
No,
Kyo,
I mean
Kumir,
it is
Hero, DRG, Ragnarok, Mara. Like, where is Dark? Where is Rogue?
Yeah.
You know, where's Beyond?
Yeah, there's a ton of missing names. I mean, it's in America, so it's a little bit further away.
Right.
Koreans, yeah.
That have to travel. So we're back to doing like in-person events, aren't we?
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah. I think it helps.
Yep.
All right, good.
After that, we have a GSL Super Tournament. Homestup Corey. I can't tell if I want to burp, sneeze, or just like cough. That's a really uncomfortable experience. Home Story Cup. There's an upcoming Home Story Cup. And then IEM Katowice.
Yeah, that should be really good.
So those are the next couple tournaments. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Cool. I think that's it. Anything else we want to cover?
Not immediately. No, not off the top of my head. Oh, actually, yes. There is a new game out on Steam called Astro Colony. Yeah. I backed on Kickstarter ages ago, just got my key. It's basically like a beta or an early access at the moment, but it's made by Tiefel. And if you don't recognize the name, he was a pro StarCraft player for a while. He had a 100 supply lead on MVP and through the game. That is what I saw people talking about when he was like on Reddit being like, you guys might not know me, but I switched from pro gaming to programming and I made this game and it's on Steam and it's trending.
And Reddit's like, we do remember you.
Yeah, Reddit's like, you fucked up in the tournament. We never forget. We never forgive. But good laughs were had. So if check it out. It's if you've heard of Satisfactory or if you just like automating resource management in space, I'm enjoying it. It seems like it's very expansive. There's lots you can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing a lot of Satisfactory in these screenshots for sure.
Yeah. Yes. So other than that, Halo Infinite now has co-op, and we're gonna play it. That's all there is to it.
About friggin' time.
Yes, and I am so excited for you to try and patch things from like what happened at the end of Halo 4, not being able to play Halo 5, now playing Halo Infinite.
Halo 4, there was a bad guy, Promethean, and we killed him with a grenade, I think.
Killed him with a nuke, I think. Oh,
sure. Or
maybe with a grenade? I don't know. Even I don't remember.
Yeah, it's not great.
All I remember is that he doesn't die there and ends up in a comic book. So,
yes.
Yeah. Good times.
He lives there now. Excellent. Right. So yeah, check us out on Twitch. We'll be playing some ye old Halo. We'll bring it back. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
Not by our fault, but by the fault of
343.
343. Yeah.
No. All right.
All right, cool. That's going to be it from us today, then. This has been Falcon Paladin and Somicron coming at you with yet another edition of the Falcon Paladin Hour. You can support us at patreon.com/Somicron, also at falconpaladin.store for a couple of new hoodies and a couple new shirts, and one that is kind of hidden, so you need to look for it.
A little bit. There's Black Friday sales coming up, so keep your eye out for those. There might be a code, which you can get some percentage off.
Ooh, yeah. Watch us on Twitter for that one.
Yeah, watch us on Twitter. Yep.
Probably a good place to talk about that. All right, cool. So yeah, until next time, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. And until next time, next week, we'll be here at twitch.tv/